Politics is a continuation of economics by other means. This is our bank. This is our war. And this is our plan of attack.
Banks have become an essential threat to our democracy. So consider this justice.
Thank you for listening to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, the #1 listener-supported radio station on the internet. Please help support this station so this battle can continue forward. Revolution Radio! The opinions expressed on this radio station, its programs, and its website by the hosts, guests, and call-in listeners or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. They do not necessarily represent the opinions of Revolution Radio and freedomslips.com, its staff, or affiliates. You're listening to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
Good evening, everyone. It's Francis. Saturday night, December 1st, on our way to Christmas. I hope you're having a wonderful day, evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you may be around this globe. I hope you're having a wonderful one. You just signed in, logged in, joined in on Collision Course every Saturday night from 6 to 8 p.m. in New York City on revolution.radio on Studio B. Tonight is going to be about amateur astronomers. I have some interesting things I want to try to do this evening, and it's going to be a collaboration between some live Nest cameras. If you don't know what a live Nest camera is, they're a company called Nest that has produced cameras that you can put around locations and have access to those live feeds via the internet. It's important for us this evening because our favorite amateur astronomer Bob Fitzhenry is out in Kerrville right now, 4 hours away from me here in Cypress, Texas. He's in central Texas, the beautiful, beautiful hill country of central Texas, Kerrville, Texas, where the new Cosmic Obsession Kerrville resides. Roll-off roof, multi-pier observatory built and manned by Bob himself. And we are here to get a little bit of, what do you want to say, fly on the wall, peek-see into what Cosmic Obsession is going to be all about. But because I got to my microphone with just a minute and a hair on my chinny chin of time, I have to go through a process. And this is what's going to happen. I'm going to go to Nest. I'm going to access the cameras, and there are, I believe, 4 cameras. And I can share the link. And I can turn the camera on. I can grab a link and share the link. I'm going to bring it back to the lobby at revolution.radio, the lobby chat, and drop the link in there. And that link will probably be good for, 5 or 10 minutes, because I want to go through all 4. I want to get a peek at weekend. And also, right now, the sun is setting. It's beautiful out, so I should get moving. I should talk less. So bear with me. I have to go to this place. And then I didn't even do that right. Bob gave me specific instructions, and the first thing I did was did it wrong. He said, do this. And is that what it was? Okay. Oh, geez. Let me try that again. He showed me. He said, share the screen, and then you'll see exactly what I did. And I did. There it is. There it is. Good. I hope everyone's having a wonderful evening. Yes, there's lots of lots of space news to talk about. I could fill the whole 2 hours with space news. But tonight, because it's Amateur Astronomer Night in America, which Collision Course wants to promote and make people think about, because amateur astronomers play such an important role in astronomy, and the number of amateur astronomers and the level of equipment that they have their hands on is growing exponentially. Let's take a peek and become the fly on the wall of Cosmic Obsession Kerrville with Bob on a beautiful sun-setting evening in Central Texas. I need to talk less and type more so that we can get you to where we want to be. We hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Wonderful Thanksgiving indeed. We here in our household, we had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I'm not getting anything right the first time. So let's try that again. Tonight's a night where I don't get it right the first time. I wonder. Oh, why am I getting it wrong? I don't have caps lock on, do I? No, caps lock off. Okay. 6, 8, yes. I think I was hitting the wrong one. No. I'm sorry for this pause. I'm not going to what about the just try it over again. Okay, I guess I'm going to have to reach out and try to get that corrected because I was unable to do what I wanted to do. Let's pull, I see, I want to add, 1 second. I'm going to add one of our, and see what Joe's doing. Joe Sardina is a very good friend of Bob's in New Jersey. Let's see if he's going to join the call for a moment. I'm having a hard time accessing my Nest cams. Terrible. Joe? Hey, Joe. Can you hear me? Joe? It says you joined. Can't hear you. It'll be one of those evenings. I promise you that I was prepared. I wonder if Joe can hear me, though. I know my microphone's on. I know the feed is going out. Or is it? Do I have a feed? No, I'm totally confused. Microphone is on. I can hear it in my headset. Skype is connected. I'm showing that Joe is in the call, but I cannot hear him. Looking over at my audio feed, I do see audio coming across. So it must be that Yes, Joe. I am. I think Joe and I are in different places. Joe is over here. I don't know if I can. I don't know why I can't produce a show. This is. So now I'm messaging Joe on another call. I actually created wonder. Really is. Wish it would just be easier. For some reason, I can never get my. Okay, Joe, can you hear me? It says Joe joined. It says you joined. Watch, I'm gonna go to call. Joe?
Hello, Francis.
Hey, Joe.
Oh, what? I'm such an idiot.
Oh, what? Okay, go ahead.
I was trying to answer through my computer in Kerrville.
Oh, okay, I see. Well,
by the way, Mark is on. He's. Are you going to bring him in or no?
Yeah, here we go. I just got to find him. It's just I don't know what it is with me and the beginning and Skype and now Bob showed me how to get into Nest, and I'm having trouble getting into Nest, and I wanted to show these links because it's a beautiful afternoon out there, and I can't now. I've got something wrong. So,
do you want me to share the screen for the Nest?
Yes, this is what I would like for you to do. Can you do this for me?
Sure.
Open up a browser window and type in revolution.radio.
Hold on a second.
Okay, folks, we're gonna get. I'm gonna make this happen, even if I have to use Joe as almost my second pair of hands.
Okay.
Okay. So you've opened that page up. If you scroll down, there's the lobby chat room in there.
Right.
Oh, I don't know if you're going to be able to make. Oh, you're not. You won't be able to do. Listen. Do this. Go in and grab a link to one of the cameras and come share it back in this Skype chat to me, and I'll share it.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
I think that's the best way.
Yeah. Let me go grab a camera.
How are you today? Mark, are you here with us?
No, Mark's not here. I think he needs to be called in. If you want me to bring him in, I can bring him in.
I did 3 or 4 in the call. 3 or 4. Mark by. Okay, can I call him? Here we go.
Yeah, add him in. You got to add him, not call. You got to add.
I got to. Well, I thought I did add him.
Okay.
Thought I did add him. How's the weather in New Jersey?
Cold and raining.
It is. It is. So Bob's the man. Bob's got beautiful weather.
Yes, he does.
My goodness, you've been looking at him all day too. All day, huh?
Yep. Yes, I have. There. Can you see the screen I'm sharing?
Yes, I can. I see that beautiful shot of the sun setting over the house and the workshop. An image from the observatory. Yep. Now, how do I get that link? I need that link.
I need it. Oh shit. You go to. You see, you got to log in, and I don't know his password because it saves it on my thing.
Okay, we're not speaking. No, we're not. We're not speaking anything about passwords for sure. Sure. Listen, I believe if you go into that camera there's a way to grab a link because you're looking at it your way, and I know that you have a 4-panel window. Right. When you shrink that down, in that window with that shot, there's a way to grab a link off of it. I don't know if you right-click it.
Let me see something in a second.
There's a settings or something. There's a little wheel in that camera shot. Oh yeah, you're getting closer. I think. Go down farther. There, isn't there something that says share down farther? It was in the center underneath that red area. What does that red area say?
Right here, delete account.
Is that all the way down for you?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, go back to the camera shot. Go back into the camera shot. Look at up in the corner. Is there a wheel? Yeah, click that. Now scroll down in the center. Yeah, scroll down. There, right there. Is there share?
Camera sharing.
Now there's a link, or up top there's an embed, but there's a link too, right? Just the link.
It says get a link. You can share your live stream video here. Clips won't be shared. Family account members can always see this camera.
So it's not allowing you with the link. I can't, because I can't see it.
Anyone with this link will be able to see your camera.
That's the one. Agree and share. Yes, that's the. Me and Bob talked about it. It's okay.
Okay.
Now there's the link right there. If you could copy that and drop it into a chat with me, I can make that shared. And then what I told Bob is we're going to open the camera up, for a few minutes, and then we're going to close it down, and then I'm sorry you have to do this, Joe. I don't know.
I don't care. It don't matter. I mean, there you go. I just sent it to you in Skype.
Okay. So now let me back out of this. Okay, there's the chat. Okay, Joe shared it. I'm going to click on it, and now I have the link. I'm going to copy it. As the sun is still, and I have to get over to Revolution Radio. Gotta get over there. And here I am over at Revolution Radio, everyone. I'm going to scroll down into the lobby. It's beautiful out. It is beautiful out at Cosmic Obsession Kerrville. And we'll just take a... Oh, I've got to log in. Why do I got to log in? My login's hard. Oh, please have it ready. Oh, yes. Perfect. Okay, so I can come in here, and I'm going to drop that link. Here's the link. Here's the first link. Okay, and everybody, really, what I'm trying to accomplish is giving everyone that wants access to these parts of astronomy that, for all it's worth, are really some of the most interesting parts of astronomy. The whats, the hows, the whos, and then, of course, you have the wonderful pictures from space and the discoveries and the observations. But how do we get from ground up? And Cosmic Obsession and Bob Fitzhenry and Deb Fitzhenry and myself with some motivation he's taken it to this wonderful place I want to share with everyone. And so this first link, and I'm looking at it, I'm going to go ahead and just click on the link just as if I was a viewer, a listener, and there I see it. And you can click the play button and look at what a wonderful, wonderful resolution shot. Now we're going to, this right here, I can tell you right now, is a view of the entrance of the property if you were standing at the door of the observatory. So all the good stuff for the space is kind of at your back, but all the stuff in front of us is that support and living quarters that's going to make the observatory possible to run every beautiful clear sky night. Like you can see out there right now, there is nothing but blue and white in the sky. And we're going to get to peak. We're going to get to be a fly on the wall. Now, these aren't, Joe, that's not the feeder. That's not the feeder tree, is it? Is that the feeder tree? Yes, it is. Okay, yes, it is. For folks who don't know, we're in Texas. In Texas, we have our wonderful, wonderful populations of native deer here, and Kerrville is a wonderful place. Now, before I say that we attract some wonderful neighbors, including the deer, I want people to know that they are our pets. And I've been told strictly that everybody wants to know that these deer that come in are pets, and they get to come into that tree right there that you see with the sunlight hitting on its branches up top, close in. They can come in, and Bob has wonderful shots of the deer. And there was a doe with 2 fawns, with twins, I think this year, and that's fun. Okay, Joe. Let's take a peek inside. Can you help me look inside? Help us look inside.
Yes. Am I sharing? Are you sharing my camera or do you have your own link?
I do not have my own link. I just shared your link. Okay. What I did when you sent me that link, I shared your link to the chat room. So okay. I want to get one from the inside because like I said, I don't. Bob tried to give me access, and the access that I wrote something wrong, and now I'm incommunicado with Bob right now because he's working hard trying to get everything ready.
Okay, I'm going to
another shot and then the share.
I'm going to do another share with this camera. Share camera. Agree. Copy.
And then just paste it up over here in the chat room of the Skype. And you have helped me out tremendously because I would not have been able. Joseph and Mark. Okay, is that Mark? Where? I still haven't got Mark, have I?
No, you don't.
Oh, come on, Francis. One group member not on call. Add Mark Bahu. See, you see him in the corner right there, right? Do you see him with the little phone reaching out to him?
Yes.
Does that mean he's going to be able to hear me and come in?
I'm not sure. Let me see if I can contact him off of my off my phone, and I'll let him know. Or let me bring him in. You want me to bring him in through our thing?
Yeah. Whatever. However, you know how it's going tonight. It looks like you're my producer tonight, Joe. Bob doesn't do that to you, does he? Everyone, let me introduce Joseph Sardina. If you want to know a good place to go to see where other amateur astronomers are broadcasting their live feed telescopes, which I'm sure everyone's heard that there's places that you can go do that. Go to websites and see what other astronomers are looking at live or almost live. They stack their images. They make composite images of groups of imaging. NiceGuysNetwork.com. And Joseph Sardina is responsible for that. And you didn't know that, but now you do. And he's here helping me produce my show, and I have to be very thankful of that. Oh, look at that shot with all the scopes. Observatory 2. Do we have that? Yes, we have that link. Now we're going to bring that link to you folks. I'm going to click on the link. That was that one. I'm going to share that link, and then I'm going to go get the observatory one. Joseph Sardina, Joe from got lost. Joe from Nice Guys Network.com is producing my show. Oh. All right, now I have to go back and I have to click on the Mark's still not here.
No, I tried calling him in. He actually texted me, but I don't know why. He says he's trying to get in and he can't get in.
And this is probably the same issue that I had with you at the beginning. Why is my issue? Because I created that other call.
Let me try to hang up that other call. I'm still here.
Yes, you're still here with me. You're still here with me. We're still here. I see in my add to call Mark, I see one group member not on call. I could click on him. It says to add. I add it. He shows up. And now, Joe, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
It says I got two. Mark.
No, he's not there yet.
See, I don't even hear it ringing anymore, and I can't even tell if it's ringing.
Well, when you go to call a second person, it doesn't ring.
Yeah,
only rings to the first. Let me just I'll text him.
Mm-hmm. Oh. So I've got to go back. The other Nest cam. Here's the other Nest cam. I forgot to do that. I was getting pulled away. Comet says, "Thank you, Joe."
Not a problem.
Comments on the chat room. I know that Comet's probably going to say next. For instance, I always need to help. Okay, here's the other link. This is the link into the telescope room. And when you get to see inside the telescope room, you're going to see a lot of telescopes. There's that link, and I'm going to click on that link to make sure that it goes. Okay, see, now I even see Mark. Let's see, I even saw the little thing working around the phone.
And it'll stop. I don't know why it's not working.
There it's going again. There it goes again. I see it circling it. Okay, folks, I'm going to hit the play button on the camera. Wow. That'll take your breath away. It really will. Poor Mark.
I'm actually in a few minutes, not a few minutes, but after we're done here, or I could do it during the show, yeah. I'm actually going to be opening up my the caps off of my telescope and have it doing its homing and all that.
That's going to be good. This whole show is going to be, if for some reason there's some sort of weird pause, I might go grab an article, but this is all, this whole show is going to be focused on what's in this picture right here, because it's really the first time that I've, people have had it introduced to them. We have you have your group and our group that know how much work's gone into it, but to see it to see it like that, it's almost like trying to comprehend the scale of the universe. Because that's a lot of photon catching right there.
Oh yeah,
that's a lot of photon catching right there. Now, let me ask you, because I don't know which is. Well, I have an idea which one the Apo for Bob, the Takahashi's Bob. It looks like the plane wave is covered, maybe.
Yes.
Is this a binocular telescope here that I'm looking at right there?
No, those the first set on your left are two telescopes that are sitting side by side on a rail.
Right.
Okay, and and on the scope nearest to you is a 14-inch Meade, and the scope right next to it is a RASA, 11-inch RASA.
I guess my first question when I see that and that kind of thought runs through my mind, are you able to combine data from setups like that? Are you able to combine data, or are they two different focal lengths and field of view, et cetera?
Listen to Revolution Radio at
Today's software, you can combine data from many different size scopes. You could be using an 8-inch, and you could be using a 14-inch, and with the software.
We have a break in a half hour. Okay. We're going to be quiet for about 4 or 5 minutes. Let's try to pull Mark in. This one.
We're an anarcho-syndicalist commune. We take it in turns to act as a sort of executive officer for the week. Yes. But all the decisions of that officer have to be ratified at a special bi-weekly meeting. Yes, I see. By a civil majority in the case of purely internal affairs. Be quiet. But by a 2/3 majority in the case of more... Be quiet. I order you to be quiet. Look, you stupid bastard, you've got no arms left. Yes, I have. Look! It's just a flesh wound.
I don't believe I've seen such a display of courage, skill, nerve, grace, and stupidity.
stupidity.
I'll do you for that. Oh, what? Come here. What are you going to do, bleed on me? I'm invincible.
You're a loony.
The Black Knight's always triumph.
Roundtable Live Monday through Friday, 1 a.m. till 4 a.m. Eastern Time. Bring your mind, bring your ideas, bring your voice. King Arthur had nothing on us. Here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com.
Enjoy your
extra big-ass fries.
You didn't give me no fries. I got an empty box.
Would you like another?
Extra big-ass fries.
I said I didn't get any.
Thank you. Your account has been charged. Your balance is 0. Please come back when you can afford to make a purchase.
No.
I'm sorry you're having
trouble.
trouble.
Come on. My kids are starving.
Thank you for tuning in to Revolution Radio. Here at Revolution Radio, we believe in freedom of ideas, freedom of speech, but above all, we believe in freedom of existence through self-reliance. This station is 100% listener-supported, and as a fundraising promotion, I have a kick-ass free gift for a $100 donation. 35,000 seeds. 25 years in the freezer. Long-term storable, 54 different varieties. So if food prices go crazy, the shit hits the fan, or if you just want to save tons of money every year by creating your own food like I do, grab our seed pack special. Just look for the banner on the homepage at freedomslips.com. Don't be a statistic. Don't be part of the problem. Be part of the solution. We need, as humans, to start taking care of ourselves and not depending on the megacorps to provide unhealthy, nasty food. Included in this package is also a DVD with 900 survival and off-grid living documents and the offline home canning how to do everything website all on the DVD. So when you're growing all that food, you know how to can it, store it, preserve it, etc. with all these documents. So thank you for tuning in to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. I hope that you will pick up this package and start learning to be free. Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, where information never sleeps and freedom is one seed that needs to be planted.
What we do in life, it goes in eternity.
Thanks for tuning in to Revolution Radio. Here at Revolution Radio, we are listener-sponsored and commercial-free. But there still are bills to pay. In order to raise some needed funds to cover the cost, our station is offering a silver special. In the continental United States for a $60 donation, or in Alaska, Hawaii, or Canada for a $70 donation, we will send you an uncirculated 2018 1-ounce pure silver Eagle. The $70 donation, the extra 10 is to cover shipping, by the way, outside of the continental United States. When making the donation, you must put Silver Eagle promo in the notes on the donation. And thank you for tuning in to Revolution Radio at revolution.radio and freedomslips.com. Without you, there is no us. Revolution Radio, where information never sleeps.
The opinions expressed on this radio station, its programs, and its website by the hosts, guests, and call-in listeners or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. They do not necessarily represent the opinions of Revolution Radio and freedomslips.com, its staff, or affiliates. You're listening to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to...
Okay, Joe, you still with me?
Yes, I am.
Have you been talking to him?
Yeah, I have. He actually, he was, I sent him a text saying, Mark, we're calling. I don't know.
One group member not on call. I click on the check, and it puts Mark up there. One group member not on call. Put a check. He puts it up there. I put add. It shows up there. It shows a little dial. For some reason, he's not getting the call. because we've tried that too many times now already. So can I can't, and it's you, me, and the station. The station, Mark Bahu. Click on it. No, come on. Why is it? That's just. Oh.
Are you live right now?
Yeah.
Because what you could do is what sometimes works better is hanging up and calling us together again.
Let's go ahead and try that. Okay, everyone. In order to try to, and we still have the Nest Cam is still open. We're going to still leave that open so you can see inside the observer. And I couldn't get through.
Yeah, we have that problem sometimes.
It's just.
I just shared the Nest Cam from the other angle.
Okay, let me. I have to go to the chat area for here. I'm checking back at my station because we had that down. It's unfortunate that we're. Yeah, I see it. Everything's going. Oh, there's another great shot. Okay, so for folks, if you're keeping up with us, we've gone through the first half hour. We're trying to show you images of Cosmic Obsession Kerrville, and as you can see, all the great work that's been going on there. Joseph Sardina from NightSkiesNetwork.com has been with me the whole show. It's him and me, and Joe's been having to produce part of my show because he's been being the one to make these views accessible for us to use in the chat room. And there's another link. That one is to another view of the observatory. The first view you can see the camera off to the right-hand side there on the wall, was looking at the side-by-sides. And then we have this one over here, which has Takahashi on it. Next, we have a Meade and a Takahashi side-by-side, Joe?
Yes, it's another Meade 14-inch with a tow 150.
It's got underneath, a 150. Well, 150. Okay.
And on top is a 80 millimeter Meade refractor.
So that Apo's the 150.
Yes, it is. Matter of fact, I was just going to open up. I don't know if you, in a second, you'll be able to see the lens open up. See it?
Okay. 1 second, everybody. And that's why this is. What am I? I'm looking.
Did you see it open?
Did I miss it? Which one was I looking at?
The tow 150.
Oh, there it is. Oh, it's like it's. I felt like I was watching a mission from Mars.
Now I just closed it. I'm gonna open it up again.
Thank you, Joe.
Not a problem.
Oh, that was the best laugh I've had all week. Because you said, "Did you see it? Did you see it?" And I hadn't seen it yet, and then it was delayed. It was delayed to me, and it was like, "Oh my!" Because oh, folks, I hope you're watching. This is the future of astronomy, amateur astronomy, at the front edge of astro imaging, the night sky. The astronomers that came before Herschel, Kepler, all the folks who cataloged the sights of the night skies, starting with Galileo. Just imagine it, Galileo looking at the moon and seeing craters on the moon for the first time and recognizing that it wasn't a smooth sphere. It was actually had texture to it. And then he pointed his telescope, handmade lens telescope to Jupiter and saw Jupiter and was able with that telescope to see Jupiter's moons. And over a period of time, he was able to recognize that those moons were actually orbiting Jupiter. And that everything changed from then on out for us here on Earth. And here we are in 2018. And I just got the biggest kick of watching. There goes another one.
That's the 14-inch.
I'm getting, because you know why? Why I'm getting a kick out of it? Because now they're ready for action.
You know, they're ready, and I'm doing this from 1,900 miles away.
That's right. Let's not say that. Amateur Astronomer Night in America on Collision Course is also here to feature that if we had everyone together, if everyone was together, and I don't know why we're having a hiccup with ones that want to be here but I can't get in, is that we have one in California, there's one in Toronto, there's one in New Jersey, there's one in Florida, there's one in Texas. Somewhere across the country, somebody's got to have good skies. But right. You'd like to have good skies where the equipment is. So imaging is on your plate for tonight, huh, Joe?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Targets?
It'll be, we're going after the jellyfish. It's IC443, which is the jellyfish nebula.
For everyone, Stellarium. If you don't have Stellarium on your computer, it'd be great if you had it. It is one of those programs that is a little bit info heavy as far as data, so it does take up some space on your hard drive. You can operate it on an external hard drive, but Stellarium, I looked at it tonight, and I said, what I'm going to do tonight, because I'm going to talk to everybody, I'm going to open up Stellarium, I'm going to take a peek at what's going on outside. And I spent about 20 minutes on it, and it's so informative. As far as, you know, Joe, I'm sure he already pre-knows what is going to be out in the night sky, where it's going to be, what, when, where, and how he's going to get good data from the light that object emits. And Stellarium is free to download on the internet. Go search Stellarium. You've probably heard it. Everybody likes to talk about it, but it's good. It works, and it is a great place to start if you want to know what's in the night sky. Of course, there are upgrades and different types of software where you can really get involved in these types of software. Actually, control the telescope. Joe just dropped me a link. Let me go and grab that link. Joe's got great links.
That is IC443.
Oh yes. And see, that was another.
That's what I'll be doing tonight.
This is what I wanted as well is to show folks what's on the interest list for the evening. I have to tell everyone, as I'm doing the show and I'm talking to Joe and we're doing chatting on Skype and I'm looking at the images, I am a little bit neglecting the chat room. If I'm neglecting the chat room and someone's asked me questions and it's gone by, I'm sorry. Yes, there was a break. There was a break on Channel B because we were trying to access one of our astronomers, and I actually had to break away. I
think Mark just came in the room.
Mark?
Yes, hello.
Wonderful.
Sorry about that. I had one of those home wife-driven emergencies that required immediate attention.
Oh! And here I thought
at the danger of my life.
I've been, Mark, Joe has basically had to produce half of my show already, so I thought it was all me. I thought it was all me. So.
No, you were fine.
If we can share some of see listeners, it wasn't all me. How are you this evening, Mark?
I'm fine.
Mark, where are you calling from? Where are you at?
I'm in Temecula, California.
And I'll probably, whenever we talk, I'll probably always ask that question just so that the listeners can get an idea who we're talking to and where they are, because I want them to know that these people like yourself and amateur astronomers, it's easy to say they're all around the world, but let's just look at North America and the group that you're a part of and Joe's a part of, the NightSkiesNetwork.com and Bob Fitzhenry and Cosmic Obsession, that really is planted all around North America. And you can't really get much better coverage in North America than what we have in the group that you're a part of.
That's true.
True. Mark, what we had been doing, if you look in the chat room, we've been sharing some links. Okay, I've been taking them to the radio station has a chat room area. The radio station has a homepage. It's revolution.radio. If you go and open up a browser and you enter revolution.radio, you can scroll down to the bottom of the page and there's a chat area, a lobby. Now, to access a lot more than that, it asks for you to register and get a username and everything. But you can go and see the chat and just, be a guest and look and even click on links. And that's what I'm trying to do because we're trying to share some of the nest cams from the observatory. And like I was just about to share, Joe's going to go after what his object of the evening is going to be. And again, the whole show and tonight is about, for you all, amateur astronomers, and sharing what you guys love to do with others who might not have the opportunity, or are looking for places to get that kind of content. Because space content is kind of specialized, really.
Yes, it is.
Though we have more access to it than we've ever had, and it's multiplying exponentially with each new year that goes by, a new space mission. If y'all hadn't known, over the last 2 months, I've had the opportunity to interview 5 different scientists from 5 different types of science interests, from the interstellar traveler Oumuamua, from the Parker Solar Probe, from the IBEX energetic, and they make themselves so available, and the information that they're relating is so new. And this isn't textbook stuff because this information hasn't even made it to a textbook yet. It's made it to papers, and then the papers are being reviewed. But this is the same thing for you guys, because you guys are like on the forefront of your technology, because you're like watching for every new item that comes out and trying to connect it with an object to go after.
You're right.
Mark, are you imaging tonight?
No, it's very cloudy and some showers in the area. So that's what happens to astronomers.
Can I ask a question? Does Bob have the best weather in the country?
Tonight he definitely does.
If you were to look at it over time, though, or is it pretty much spread out? Does Bob get lucky more often than not?
What happens is and I'm sure Mark could agree with this. A lot of these places where observatories are have a 1 month, 6 week, 7 week stint of where they have clouds and rain. And then the rest of the year, you basically breeze through beautiful weather. So
right. It's like monsoon season.
Yeah.
And for the Northeast, it's 6 months of winter, right?
For the Northeast, you never make plans, because if you make plans, you're gonna have clouds. Trust me.
Well, I know what the Northeast can be like. I do know, but I don't know, because I know that the Northeast has gotten pummeled by some incredibly historic storms that I thought storms were bad when I was up there. But you all have dealt with some really crazy stuff.
Yes, we have.
And we won't get into why that is, but I guess that's just time in the universe. But
whatever coordinates I want, or name of an object I want, and it'll be dead center on.
Yeah. Oh, that's how. So right now, you're not pointed at the object. You're just at home, right?
Yes. Right now, there's sensors inside the mount.
Yeah.
That the telescope moves to, and when the telescope moves to those sensors, it stops and it says, "Okay, we know where we're at right now."
And so it's normal.
From there, we can go forward and go to any object we want.
And home is usually, if I'm right, I could be wrong. Home is in a position similar to this in most telescopes because it evenly distributes the weight.
Not necessarily. You see, the position that the telescope was in previously.
Yeah.
We call that the park position.
Okay.
And that is supposedly the position that the telescope will have the less amount of stress.
All right. There. Okay. All right.
So park position is pointing north, weights down.
Okay, so where we're at right now, this is all about astronomy and astronomical positioning, and its home is where it's ready to do its business from, its starting spot.
Yes.
Yeah. The little telescope on the top, and I hope people I hope people get a chance to come and watch this live because they may not understand it once it's gone. The little telescope on top, what's its main purpose?
That telescope can actually be used for imaging. Yes. Okay, so that means that you're going to get a much, much, much wider field of view.
Uh-oh.
There goes Bob.
There goes Bob, everybody.
Yeah.
So you get a much wider field of view?
Yes. You'll get a much wider field of view. But also that small telescope can be used for guiding if I needed to guide. But most of my, I have what's called off-axis guiding, so I don't necessarily need that small scope to guide. I can actually guide by a little camera that's pointing at a prism mirror to get the image, and allows me to properly guide.
Okay, I'm going to ask. I don't know enough about it.
Listen to Revolution Radio.
FreedomSlips.com. The prism is located there.
Okay, what I'm going to do is the prism is located within in front of the imaging camera. Okay, and there's a camera that is pointing down. There's two cameras. There's the main imaging camera, and then there's the guide.
We're an anarcho-syndicalist commune. We take it in turns to act as a sort of executive officer for the week. Yes. But all the decisions of that officer have to be ratified at a special bi-weekly meeting. Yes, I see. By a simple majority in the case of purely internal affairs. Quiet. But by a 2/3 majority in the case of quiet. I order you to be quiet. You stupid bastard, you've got no arms left. Yes, I have. Look! Just a flesh wound.
I don't believe her. Seems to display of courage, skill, nerve, grace, stupidity.
I'll do you for that. What? Come here. What are you going to do, bleed on me? I'm invincible.
You're a loony.
The Black Knight always triumphs.
Roundtable Live Monday through Friday, 1 a.m. till 4 a.m. Eastern Time. Bring your mind, bring your ideas, bring your voice. King Arthur had nothing on us here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com.
Enjoy your
extra big-ass fries.
You didn't give me no fries. I got an empty box.
Would you like another?
Extra big-ass fries.
I said I didn't get any.
Thank you. Your account has been charged. Your balance is 0. Please come back when you can afford to make a purchase.
No.
I'm sorry you're having
trouble. Come on.
My
kids are starving.
Thank you for tuning in to Revolution Radio. Here at Revolution Radio, we believe in freedom of ideas, freedom of speech, but above all, we believe in freedom of existence through self-reliance. This station is 100% listener-supported, and as a fundraising promotion, I have a kick-ass free gift for a $100 donation. 35,000 seeds. 25 years in the freezer. Long-term storable, 54 different varieties. So if food prices go crazy, the shit hits the fan, or you just want to save tons of money every year by creating your own food like I do, grab our seed pack special. Just look for the banner on the homepage at freedomslips.com. Don't be a statistic. Don't be part of the problem. Be part of the solution. We need, as humans, to start taking care of ourselves and not depending on the megacorps to provide unhealthy, nasty food. Included in this package is also a DVD with 900 survival and off-grid living documents and the offline home canning, how to do everything website, all on the DVD. So when you're growing all that food, you know how to can it, store it, preserve it, etc. with all these documents. So thank you for tuning in to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. I hope that you will pick up this package and start learning to be free. Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, where information never sleeps and freedom is one seed that needs to be planted.
What we do in life, it goes in eternity.
Thanks for tuning in to Revolution Radio. Here at Revolution Radio, we are listener-sponsored and commercial-free. But there still are bills to pay. In order to raise some needed funds to cover the cost, our station is offering a silver special. In the continental United States for a $60 donation, or in Alaska, Hawaii, or Canada for a $70 donation, we will send you an uncirculated 2018 1-ounce pure silver Eagle. The $70 donation, the extra 10 is to cover shipping, by the way, outside of the continental United States. When making the donation, you must put Silver Eagle promo in the notes on the donation. And thank you for tuning in to Revolution Radio at revolution.radio and freedomslips.com. Without you, there is no us. Revolution Radio, where information never sleeps.
The opinions expressed on this radio station, its programs, and its website by the hosts, guests, and call-in listeners or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. They do not necessarily represent the opinions of Revolution Radio and freedomslips.com, its staff, or affiliates. You're listening to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
Hey everyone, it's Francis. Collision course, 7:02 p.m. in New York City on December 1st. I have with me Joe Sardina from NightSkiesNetwork.com. I'm dropping links in the lobby which give you access to live Nest cams from Cosmic Obsession Kerrville. Cosmic Obsession Kerrville is getting ready for a busy evening of imaging. If you pop on over there to the link that I dropped into the lobby, you can see that the telescopes are getting ready to be working. Let's go back into Skype holding area. Joe, you still with us?
Yes, I am.
I'm not going to try to control your time because I know that you've got stuff going on. I'm just going to let folks know that Joe is here, and he is planning a busy evening of taking a picture of, and I'm going to drop that link again, IC 443. Is that what it is, IC 443?
Yes, it is.
And we're going to drop that link in there for the lobby. IC 433. IC 443, right now, 443. IC 4. Have you gotten any data from that, or is this going to be?
Yes, I have.
You do?
Yes, I have. But we've been for the last about 2.5 months. We've been testing and just making sure, tweaking everything. Mm-hmm. And probably within the next couple of weeks, I'll be flying down to Texas to finalize everything, and then it'll totally be automated.
You're coming back?
Yes, I am.
When's that?
Well, just trying to plan it right. So I haven't made a decision. It'll probably be either a week before Christmas, or it'll probably be about a week after New Year's. Right.
Busy.
Yes, definitely.
Let me go back to the. I know that everything's been working. Everybody's turning. Bob's turning. You're turning.
Oh yeah, Bob is getting all ready. He sort of is like because these cameras that we look at these.
Yep.
We don't keep them on once we start imaging because the infrared light puts a glow into the image.
Right.
So we're just basically.
Are they the ATIC cameras?
They're well. No. I'm not talking about the ATIC. I'm talking about the cameras that the Nest cameras that we're using right now.
I got you.
Their infrared lighting disturbs the image.
All right. Yeah, and I knew when I spoke to Bob, I knew it was only going to be for so long, and I'm glad that we had every opportunity to peek in there on a beautiful sunset evening. And then, of course, at any time you can shut them down. It'll be okay, because we can always come back on another night.
Yep, it's not a problem.
And I'm going to go peek on some news. I'm going to give a little update because I know that Joe is working on some stuff. And let me go see what we had going on, because I really, there's an article, there's some stuff going on, I guess I just have to say it because this is from outer space. Unfortunately, it appears that Neil deGrasse Tyson has found himself under some sort of investigation from some sort of sexual doings in his career, and I find that to be quite unfortunate, and I hope everybody else finds that to be quite unfortunate as well. I hope that whatever the result of that comes is that the right, honest result is the result. I have no bias one way or the other, except the only thing I want to say is that it's unfortunate to have to read news about someone that I held personally in high respect, but we'll just have to let it play out. But it's just unfortunately, it's going to be a mark on himself. And that's part of the news of the week, and that's my opinion. I have an unfortunate opinion about it because I find it very unfortunate. Collision Course on Facebook, that's where the news gets dropped throughout the week. We've had a very busy week on Facebook this week. Lots of new friends. I hope that they have taken a moment to come and listen to the show. If they get an idea of what the show is about, they should be able to feel happy about coming back and getting interesting space news. Tonight's show was focused on amateur astronomers. The observatory in Kerrville, Cosmic Obsession Kerrville, is open and ready for business. Over the last hour, we've been sharing links to where you can see live images of what's going on inside the observatory. We have with us Joseph Sardina from New Jersey, who's the owner-operator of NiceGuysNetwork.com. That's the place you go when you want to go see amateur astronomers and what they're looking at out into space. There's lots of astronomers who will go there and live broadcast their feeds. Great site. Joe, unbeknownst to him, had to produce some of my shows so I could get some of the links to the observatory, so we have to be thankful for him. We had Mark Bahu on for a moment. He'll probably come popping back in.
I'm back here now.
There he is. Hi, Mark.
Hi.
So I'm just running through the stuff. And I'm going to run through some news. Something really interesting, and some would say that, I don't know. Sometimes I have a conspiracy theory. Sometimes I'm attracted to conspiracy theories. How about that? That's probably the best way to say it. I'm not a conspiracy theorist per se, but sometimes the conspiracy theories attract me. Recently, if you didn't know it, and there's an article in nationalgeographic.com, there were some strange waves that rippled around the world, and no one knows why. Now, there's nothing conspiracy theory really about the article. It's, and I'm going to get through it because it appears that there was only one person watching. But what's tends to make me feel weird about it is that this G20, if you go back in history, there seems to be some really weird events that always happen when all these folks get together. So whatever, that's the attractive conspiracy theory for me. But we'll move on to this these waves. These strange waves rippled around the world, and nobody knows why. Instruments picked up the seismic waves more than 10,000 miles away, but bizarrely, nobody felt them. On the morning of November 11th, so that was a couple weeks ago, just before 9:30 UT time, over there, Greenwich time, a mysterious rumble rolled around the world. The seismic waves began roughly 15 miles off the shores of Mayotte, a French island sandwiched between Africa and the northern tip of Madagascar. The waves buzzed across Africa, ringing sensors in Zambia, Kenya, Ethiopia. They traversed vast oceans, humming across Chile, New Zealand, Canada, and even Hawaii, nearly 11,000 miles away. These waves didn't just zip by, they rang for more than 20 minutes, and yet it seems no human felt them. Only one person noticed the odd signal on the U.S. Geological Survey's real-time seismogram displays. An earthquake enthusiast who uses the handle at Matariki Pax. That's at MATARIKIPAX, because this guy was the only guy who noticed it. He saw the curious zigzags and posted images of them on Twitter. That small action kicked off another ripple of sorts as researchers around the world attempted to suss out the source of the waves. Was it a meteor strike? A submarine volcanic eruption? An ancient sea monster rising from the deep? I don't think I've seen anything like it, says Goran Ekstrom, a seismologist at Columbia University who specializes in unusual earthquakes. It doesn't mean that, in the end, the cause of them is that exotic, he notes, yet many features of the waves are remarkably weird, from their surprisingly monotone, low-frequency ring to their global spread, and researchers are still chasing down the geologic conundrum. Why are low-frequency waves so weird? In a normal earthquake, the buildup of tension in the Earth's crust release a jolt in mere seconds. This sends out a series of waves known as a wave train that radiates from the point of the rupture, explains Stephen Hicks, a seismologist at the University of Southampton. The fastest traveling signals are primary waves, or P waves, which are compression waves that move in bunches, like what happens to an extended slinky that gets suddenly pushed at one end. Next come the secondary waves, or S waves, which have more of a side-to-side motion. Both of those so-called waves have relatively high frequencies, Hicks says, a sort of ping rather than a rumble. Finally, chugging along at the end come slow, long-period surface waves, which are similar to the strange signals that rolled from Mayotte. For intense earthquakes, these surface waves can zip around the planet multiple times, ringing Earth like a bell, Hicks says. However, there was no big earthquake kicking off the recent slow waves. Adding to the weirdness, Mayotte's mystery waves are what scientists called monochromatic. Most earthquakes send out waves with a slew of different frequencies, but Mayotte's signal was a clean zigzag dominated by one type of wave that took a steady 17 seconds to repeat. It's like you have colored glasses and are just seeing red or something, says Anthony Lomax, an independent seismology consultant. Mayotte's volcanic roots. Based on the scientific sleuthing done so far, the tremors seem to be related to a seismic swarm that gripped Mayotte since May. Hundreds of quakes have rattled the small nation during that time, most radiating from around 31 miles offshore, just east of the odd ringing. The majority were minor trembles, but the largest clocked in at 5.8 on May 15th, the mightiest in the island's recorded history. Yet the frequency of these shakes has declined in recent months, and no traditional quakes rumbled there when the mystery waves began on November 11th. The French Geological Survey, BRGM, is closely monitoring the recent shaking, and it suggests that a new center of volcanic activity may be developing off the coast of Mayotte. Mayotte was formed from volcanism, but its geologic beasts haven't erupted in over 4,000 years. Instead, BRGM's analysis suggests that this new activity may point to a magmatic movement offshore, miles from the coast under thousands of feet of water. Though this is good news for the island's inhabitants, it's irksome for geologists since it's an area that hasn't been studied in detail. The location of the swarm is on the edge of geologic maps we have, says Nicholas Taillefer, head of the Seismic and Volcanic Risk Unit in BRGM. There are a lot of things we don't know. And as for the November 11th mystery wave, he says it's something quite new in the signals on our stations. I found that really interesting, and the reason why I found that interesting is I remember that there's some data, there's some information, and there is a mission that occurred with the moon, and I don't know what it is. I can search it. I don't have to sound totally bad. So let me just see if I can search it. Where NASA crashed an object into the moon. This article describes how one of the stages from Apollo 12 was crashed into the moon deliberately and caused a strange ringing sound for nearly an hour. And I'm only saying this. I'm saying it because there's any connection. I have no connection. But when I heard of the strange ringing of Earth, first thing that came to my mind was that there was some information that came out of when Apollo was crashed into the moon, that the moon rang like a bell. And I'll go ahead, because I know Joe and Mark are on the phone. Had either of you heard of that information about the moon getting rung like a bell?
Actually, I just read about it not even less than 3 weeks ago for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
There was a bell.
I heard about it at the time the experiment was performed.
You did. Interesting. Isn't that interesting? Isn't it interesting?
Sure, it is. The moon's interior is very different than ours, but it's still fascinating to wonder how you got such a pure wave out of what is normally activity that contains many different frequencies, mostly very, very high frequencies, and then down into the low. So, with the biggest energy, of course, being in the lower frequencies.
Right. The ones that can do the most damage, actually.
Yeah.
They move the biggest mountains. I mean, it's because they've started to prove, and they've proven now in different regions. I mean, you can use sound to move objects.
Oh, sure.
And you can use it in controlled fashion. Now, there's some historic, of course, there's some historic buildings that you might wonder, well, how did they get those things put together that way? I know that there was a gentleman, I think he was in Florida, and I don't know his name. He had created this whole, it wasn't a town. It was like he had created all these sculptures of large monolithic type objects, and nobody was able to determine how he did it because he did not use a crane or machinery or anything, and it's still questionable about how this man created this monolithic area around his home. And I don't know if you ever heard about him, and I can't think of his name. But yeah, when I heard about the ringing of Earth, my mind went right to the ringing of the moon, because to get a real resonant ringing out of something shaped like Earth, with all the different geologies and basically what it's made of, that really seems so unique. It's almost too unique. I don't know how they would get that. But also the other side of that is that there was only one guy listening. He dropped it on Twitter, and I've gone to his Twitter feed now and forget about it. He is the star of the show.
Well, I would tell you the place is called Coral Castle, and
yes.
The gentleman's name is Edward Leedskalnin. And the amazing things is how did this guy lift, stones, a couple tons without any cranes?
Yeah, the monolith. That's why I use the word monolith, because when people think of it, they think of something big, and that's really what it is. Not all of his pieces are big, but some of his pieces are big. Now, I do want to say, though, after I heard about him and I did a little bit of researching, I have watched, because they have people who go out there and they try to recreate the engineering behind lifting monolithic size objects. i.e., whether it be a Stonehenge or this gentleman here in his coral place. They had a way of tipping it back and forth. They tipped it. They got it. They got one end up and they put a board under it or something, and they just. But these folks moved this. It must have been well over 10,000 pounds, right? And they lifted it up like 20 feet. And I would have stopped at 8. I would have stopped at 8 and I would have ran away because the whole setup looked sketchy, right? But once they got past 8 feet, it was like, oh my God, that was death warmed over. They got it up there though. They got it up there like 15 feet just by getting it to rock back a little bit, and every time it would rock, they'd stick a little shim in there, and they'd shim it. They shimmed it up there. It took them, I don't know how long it took them, but I don't even know who came up with that idea, but to lift that thing 15 feet, but it was pretty scary by the time it was done. But so there was a way, they proved a way to move a monolith a certain way, but it was the most, to me, inefficient. And if you were the person responsible to move a bunch of monoliths, it would be the last way you would want to move them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You would be looking for sonic waves before you'd want to lift those. Too many of those like that. So, back to the original story with the Earth ringing like a bell. That's very interesting. Now, whether and then we had the ringing of the bell. And then we had the earthquake in Alaska. It wasn't too much longer after that. And we did have a very bad earthquake in Alaska now. I'm sure not everyone has heard the news out of Alaska and seen the damage and has seen the images of the highways with the cars stuck in the pit holes. And it's amazing what the power of an earthquake can do to firmament. It can turn it into putty and worse. And I did not want to be that guy in that. Did you all see the picture of the car that was in like a crater?
Yes.
On the highway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't look real.
It didn't look real, and it just gives you that feeling. Here I'm driving down the highway, and there's a bump, and all of a sudden I'm 20 feet in a hole. But listen, they're probably able to save the car. I mean, yeah. I was looking, I said, at least he saved the car. They'll figure out a way to get it out. Okay, so that was one thing. So if you're interested in the ringing of the moon, that you'll have to look up something from Apollo 12. A portion of Apollo 12 was crashed into the moon deliberately and causing a strange ringing sound for nearly an hour. Another article said that it sounded like a gong. I was hoping someone here might have read about this before and maybe found some good info. And this is just a forum that really goes down about it, and we can cover that on another show. So we'll go back to a collision course and scroll down. And Collision Course is on Facebook. It's www.facebook.com/collision course 321, like a countdown. 321. If you go to Collision Course, I posted a link to Choosing Your First Telescope with J. Kelly Beatty. It's very much worth a watch. If you're getting closer, and it's this time of year, I know I would almost garnish a guess that above average amounts of telescopes get bought on and around the Christmas season, because for someone who likes astronomy, I wouldn't doubt that people buy and sell telescopes as gifts for Christmas all the time. And so right now might be a good time to go look at a video that helps you choose your first telescope. And this one is on Collision Course with J. Kelly Beatty. All right. So how much is the sun set in Kerrville, Joe?
Oh, yeah, they're ready to go.
They're ready to go.
Yep.
All right.
Matter of fact, it's everything went into infrared, and Bob is already imaging, actually.
Okay. You're going to turn the camera off, huh?
In a few, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to drop this one more time. We're going to give you a 90-second countdown. 90-second countdown. Revolution Radio, Studio B. The link. The sun has set on Cosmic Obsession Kerrville. If you want to get a look inside after the sun is set, streaming live from Nest Cam, you get to see Joe's setup over here on the left. Bob's going to be operating the white telescope that's over toward the far corner. They each have objects that they're going after, and it is going to be a perfect night for catching photons, for sure. Joe, I want to thank you, again, for getting these images up for us, because I would have been stuck out, and I haven't got contact with Bob because he's busy. So between me and my listeners, thank you very much for sharing that.
Not a problem whatsoever.
And then everyone who's listening, you're down to about 60 or so seconds or so. You can just watch it, and then Joe's going to turn it off, and then he's gonna start really focusing on. Well, let me ask you this, Joe. You have an object in mind, right?
Yes.
Your telescope's equipped with multiple views of that object, and this is what I want. This is how I'm going to lead into this. Multiple views means multiple filters to see the object through.
Right.
For most observing sessions, you'll work with a single filter.
I'll actually go through anywhere from 4 filters or 4 to 5 filters, and that would be yes. Like tonight, my intention is just to do narrowband, which would be the hydrogen, sulfur, and oxygen filters, which would give you the colors that I showed you earlier. But other nights I may do LRGB, which is luminance, red, green, blue, and probably some HA. So that's where I say 4 to 5 filters. But depends.
Right. So let's let me expand on that for the listeners. Okay, so we have the telescope, we have it set up, it knows where it is, it knows how to point to an object, it knows how to track or follow that object so precisely is the word, you say precisely, so precisely that you can take clear images with it. Okay?
Absolutely.
And Joe is going to, or whoever's taking the image, has options of the filter that they want to shoot the image through. You have a luminance or a white type of light filter. You have a red filter. You have a green filter. You have a blue filter. And then, like what Joe was saying, when we have the narrowband filter, those are the types of lights that our eyes don't see naturally. We can see the luminance. We can see the red. We can see the green. We can see the blue. But we can't see the hydrogen alpha. We can't see the OII or the
O3.
O3 and the SII then, right?
Yes,
sulfur
yes.
and sulfur and
SII.
Okay, we're on another break. Hold on tight. We'll come right back. Thank you, Joe.
Yep.
We'll come right back, Joe.
Yep.
Hey, Joe, is there a place where we can look at what's going on?
Revolution, what, on the radio station?
Yeah, I mean, is there a place where are you guys going to show the images or what?
Oh, no, I'm going to call you afterwards. I'll call you into the Skype.
Okay.
All right?
You're listening to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, and we'll be right back after this message.
Wadiya will remain a dictatorship. Oh, be quiet. Why are you guys so anti-dictators? Imagine if America was a dictatorship. You could let 1% of the people have all the nation's wealth. You could help your rich friends get richer by cutting their taxes. and bailing them out when they gamble and lose. You could ignore the needs of the poor for healthcare and education. Your media would appear free, but would secretly be controlled by one person and his family. You could wiretap phones. You could torture foreign prisoners. You could have rigged elections. You could lie about why you go to war. You could fill your prisons with one particular racial group, and no one would complain. You could use the media to scare the people into supporting policies that are against their interests.
Tune in Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, for Liberation Nation with Deacon John, where America comes to hear the truth.
I know this is hard for you Americans to imagine, but please try.
Ohio Exopolitics will be on from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern on Studio A. Mark Schneider will have guests on that will discuss many important topics, including the state of the world today. However, much of the show will be dedicated to the writings of Edward Albert Meyer. Let me read a short passage from one of his writings. Love is the highest principle of creation, and through it, everything exists in absolute logic. All of nature in its indescribable splendor is nothing but the love of creation, which is expressed visibly. The love of creation is everywhere, because without it, nothing at all would be able to exist. Please join Mark on Ohio Exopolitics from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern on Studio A.
It is no secret that the so-called mainstream media is best described as controlled propaganda. Countless news stories are either totally ignored or spun with half-truths, and because of this, essential facts and vital information are often compromised. Join Dr. Ott every Friday night on Studio B at 10 p.m. Eastern and learn why The Story Behind the Story was nominated for a Peabody Award in its second year of producing unparalleled broadcasting excellence in 1997. That is, if you really care about learning the truth.
Transcending time and space, let us take you to the place inside your mind where thoughts divide and mysteries unwind. Join us every Monday evening right here on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And you will catch the Fenton Perspective with our great host, Lorian Fenton. Come listen in as she shares her amazing stories from the past to present, along with all of her guest secrets to the future. That's the Fenton Perspective every Monday evening right here from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, only on Revolution Radio. Oh, and you don't need to expect us. We're already here.
The opinions expressed on this radio station, its programs, and its website by the hosts, guests, and call-in listeners or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. They do not necessarily represent the opinions of Revolution Radio and freedomslips.com, its staff, or affiliates. You're listening to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
Okay, everybody, I'm back. It's Francis, 7:33 p.m. in New York City on December 1st. I've been fortunate enough to have with me the entire show, Joe Sardina from New Jersey, Joe Sardina from NiceGuysNetwork.com. If you haven't been there, go there. Check it out. He makes it available for you to go, and it's a free thing to go and check out what other astronomers are looking at by going to NiceGuysNetwork.com. Joe, you're still here.
Yes, I am.
Thank you so much. You've done the whole show, so much gratitude and thanks goes, and I know you know I appreciate you.
Not a problem.
Mark, you still here?
Yes, sir.
Mark's still here. Mark has made his way right to the center of my Skype screen. We had such a hard time connecting that you've become the center of my screen now.
Sorry about that.
So the show, of course, will come to an end this evening, but the astronomy does not end when the show is over. What normally occurs was like a Skype call that y'all will get together on with Bob and Joe, and then all the talking and the discussing will start, and the imaging will start, and all that.
What will happen is that we usually get started on Skype just to get things rolling, and then sometimes we roll over to Night Skies Network and start broadcasting live there on what people can see. Now we try to keep Night Skies Network for people who are doing live imaging, meaning it's almost live what you're seeing.
Yes.
We try not to do any imaging itself, because I mean some of our imaging processing is 6 to 8 hours long, so that was totally boring to someone.
Yeah, for the listeners, there's such a broad range of ways to take the pictures. Because there's a lot of outlets, let's say vendors, your Celestrons, your Meads, your Williams Optics, and whoever may be producing an imaging platform or a camera that can be used to be adapted to a telescope to be used to take images. The number of amounts vary, or right now, thousands of different ways to look into the night sky. Some of them are live video cameras. Some of them are CCD cameras that can put together an image quickly. Some of these images that you'll see from amateur astronomers, like Joe said, are composites of hours of light gathering, because in order to get the depth and the clarity and the colors that you want from some of these objects that are so massive but yet so faint, you have to add up minutes and minutes, and like let's say an average exposure was 120 seconds. Now, I've taken images at 30 seconds. I've taken images at 60 seconds, 120. All of them, all the way up to the 5 minute. I've gone all the way up to 300 seconds, I think it is, and I've done that robotically through itelescope.net. And so you have to imagine, with nightskiesnetwork.com being more of a live platform, that you'll have to expect that some of the images that amateur astronomers produce aren't compatible with the platform that nightskiesnetwork.com affords that platform. Now, you can always follow that astronomer and say, okay, now I know that Joe is on Facebook, right? Joe, you're on Facebook, right?
Yes, I am.
Now, you might have to look him up, and I don't want to leave the link because I don't want him to be bombarded. But if you were really interested in finding Joe Sardina from Night Skies Network, they have Night Skies Network has a page on Facebook, and you can find Joe and connect with people that are a part of that. That's what makes connecting the radio show, the observatories, the images, nightskiesnetwork.com, bringing all these resources together, placing them on Facebook and on Revolution Radio allows more people access to that information, because they have to have it. Carl Sagan always said, and I do not know the quote, so I can only paraphrase the great Carl Sagan. He says the information is out there for the common man. If the common man doesn't go out there and access the information, he can't blame the information for what he doesn't know. And that's how I paraphrase it. So if you're a type of person like me who likes to be in the know, one of my topics is space. I have lots of other topics, just like everybody may have their own topic. If you really want to be a part and know what's going on, you have to step up to the plate, because the information is out there, for sure. 6:39 here in Cyprus, 6:39 in Kerrville, Texas. It's 3:39 where Mark is. Is that where it is, Mark? It's still afternoon, 3:39 where you are?
4:39 now.
4:39 now. And then it is 7:39 where Joe is in New York City, where we pretty much base our time from, even though we should all know what we are minus or plus UTC. Joe, what are you? Minus or plus what?
I am minus
what?
5, right?
Yes.
5.
Mark, what are you?
8.
8. I'm 6.
Yeah.
And that's just the reason why I bring that up is because a lot of times one of the things I love are transient objects. Transient objects, comets, asteroids, pretty much fills the bill there. And if you want to go out and grab coordinates, you really need to know. You go to the Minor Planet Center. I think it's .com. Well, I don't know if it's .org or not. Look it up, Minor Planet Center. And in order to get some of the data that you may need to go after a certain object, you have to know some of the nomenclature. It helps if you know whether you're minus or plus UTC. UTC was Greenwich time. Greenwich time is over there in London, divides wherever Greenwich is. They've changed it to universal time, whatever. Now it's UT. They may even have changed it again to just UT. But UTC, UT, Greenwich Mean Time. If you're an astronomer, more than likely you probably know whether you're plus or minus UTC. What really messes with my head and gives me a biscuit is the iTelescope.net in Siding Springs Observatory, Australia. They're plus 11, and that just throws me off. So from being minus 6 to having to go to plus 11 to try to get my timing right is like, forget about it. It's hard.
When you cross the date line, it gets confusing. That's for sure.
Oh, I don't know if y'all don't need to use that resource because you have plenty of your own resources. But for the listeners, if you're so bold, they are operations, telescopes, where the average person, can go out. And yes, it may cost you to register. And yes, it may cost some dollars for imaging time. You can go out and do this stuff. You don't have to say, well, I'm not going to do it because that costs, I see right there, that costs whatever. And I'm not going to do that. You shouldn't look at, you don't have to. It's not that you shouldn't. I don't want to say that because you can feel any way you want to feel. But you should also acknowledge that you have opportunities to, just for pocket change, you can go take a picture of a comet, or you can go take a picture of Andromeda. And it's as easy as push button. You pop in your computer and you go over to the website and you get into your access, your area and your dashboard, and it gives you different things to look at and places to go. When you push on it, you wait your certain amount of time, and look, now you can download a picture that you took yourself. Because if you happen to know me, what brought us all here were people who like to be distrustful or dishonest about what's really going on out in space. That's what brought me here in the first place. The way you disprove things that you believe are not honest and truthful is you have to go out there and retrieve information that you can introduce back in the discussion. And that's exactly what I did. It's exactly how I got connected with iTelescope.net. You take the picture, you bring it back, and you say, ha, 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 ooh, ooh, ooh. You're wrong. And that's what got this all started. And I still enjoy that day as if it was yesterday. Joe and Mark, the history, the background of that is when I was first started getting involved with the radio station back in 2011, there was a comet Olenin. And for some darn reason, there was a bunch of theorists and hypotheses that came out that believed it was a brown dwarf, that wasn't what it was being reported. As most things are come out, there's going to be someone that says, I don't believe it because they said so, or I don't believe it because you said so. And The easiest thing. It was so easy. All I had to do is go out, rent a telescope, take a picture, bring it back, and say, guess what? It's not what you said it was. And it was like dropping a bomb. It was like dropping a bomb. And you know what it was? It was dropping truth. And fortunately or unfortunately, the discussion continued for almost a complete year because, of course, those people who say the untruths, they actually don't take the truth for what it is, and they just continue believing what they want to believe. But being honest amateur astronomers, honest amateur researchers, honest researchers of science, if you got an opportunity to go out and get the data yourself, go out and get it. If you're in a discussion that you need help getting data for, come and get it. If you want a great place to go and listen about outer space, hear things that are going on outside in space, connect with people who are looking out in space, this is the place you should be. It started an hour and 45 minutes ago, but at least you're here now, and you'll know where to go next week between 6 and 8 p.m. In New York City, revolution.radio, Studio B's Collision Course. We're going to have another great episode. Joe, where are you at now? Now the sun is set. Are you pointing at your object?
As of right now, I'm getting ready to do a focus with my. I ended up putting a new camera in the guider.
Yeah.
So Bob, in a few minutes, will help me focus that in. And then by 8:15 my time, I'll be ready to image the jellyfish.
Cool, the jellyfish. Well, for the listeners, you know that the show's going to come to an end in about another so many minutes, which doesn't end the show, because I recommend go on over to niceguysnetwork.com. Keep the show going. Go over there. Tell them that Collision Course sent you. Tell them that you just got done listening to Joe for the 2 hours of Collision Course. You just watched Joe produce a whole Collision Course show. And now we wanted to find out what's going on over at niceguysnetwork.com, because Joe's over there too. And we know that Bob is in Kerrville. We know that Mark's in California, probably interested in what's going on in Texas to see what everybody's doing over there.
Yeah, that's where we'll all be pretty soon.
I know that we're going to have to shout out to Chris Appleton. He didn't make it tonight. I don't know where he is, but I do. He was nice enough to join me and Mark on the last amateur astronomer night in America. Because, gentlemen, if you didn't know it, this is the second amateur astronomer night in America on Collision Course. I'm going to make that into something.
That's good.
Because an amateur astronomer needs to be honored. They do. You know, and there's just not enough honoring the amateur astronomer, in my opinion. You know, you never hear, man, do you hear about Joe over there, the amateur astronomer? He's the best amateur astronomer in the country right now. They don't say that. They just leave you guys out there in the dark with your telescopes. They don't say nothing nice about you, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Until you bring back that amazing photo. Oh, before we go, and I only got a couple minutes. Did you know that Terry Hancock? Terry Hancock is a friend of mine on Facebook, a well-known astro photographer. Terry Hancock. Right now, there is a Optolong Deep Sky Astrophotography Competition 2018. Did y'all know about that at all?
Yes, we did.
Good. I just wanted to make sure, because you know you guys put so much hard work into your pictures, so you got to have an opportunity to go out there and get them recognized and let these people judge them, because put so much hard work into them. Now Terry Hancock, he does some great work. He's over there at the Grand Mesa Observatory. He's been at other places. I don't know if you ever seen. You see the light boxes he makes out of his images?
Yes, he does. Yeah, I see him.
And he backlights them.
Yep.
So it's like on a film that he backlights and he puts in the. He gets good. He bet you gets good money for those.
Of course.
Bet you gets good money for those. He said there's some for half price right now. But I may have Terry on. I tried to approach Terry. In fact, I did, and he said he would do them. But then I think he was like, I'm not quite sure what this is all about. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to mention to him again that I'd like to have him come on, just because, again, I'll have him on for an amateur. Yeah, I got to be careful who I'm calling an amateur, though, too. And then amateur is that place where academia doesn't want to go, I think. Academia has a sort of, I don't want to say anything bad about anyone. Academia has a level that they stay in, all right? And then you have the commercial scientist, and they've come from academia, but now they're outside of academia. So, but there's such a massive amount of work that goes on in astronomy that doesn't involve academia, nor does it involve the people that came out of academia. And, I've found out, just from experience, that scientists love to be cliquey. They like to be cliquey. They like to share their information amongst themselves, and then that's fine with them. If they feel like if they've shared their information with their area, that they've been taken care of. And I want to tell everyone that the amateur astronomer needs to get a lot more credit than they're getting from. And then here is a competition or a contest for people like ourselves to send their pictures in and to get judged, and hopefully to win something good. Because hard work deserves payoff once in a while. But they get paid off with their images, though, too. Right?
Yeah, burn.
Might as well ask, because we are going to be coming out 10. What's your favorite image you ever took? And why?
Probably my favorite image, successful favorite image, is probably the Bubble Nebula, NGC 6888. I did it in hydrogen alpha, and it was just clear. Such a very clear and such a 3D effect that came out was just unbelievable.
Awesome. Mark?
Crab Nebula.
Oh yeah.
Narrow band.
Yeah.
So it was pretty amazing, and I'm anxious to do it again.
The crab is better. The crab is hard because it's small. It's hard to get, right? Because it's small. In a wide field of view, the crab isn't that big, right?
Yes, for that one I used a 16-inch telescope.
So you had a smaller field of view.
Yes, and a larger scale of the crab on the sensor. So it pretty much.
I know the crab.
Filled the middle of the sensor almost completely. Like 2/3 of the sensor was covered by the crab.
Well, that's a good shot. That's a good shot there, because I know the crab is one of the favorite objects to go after, because I don't know if I read somewhere that they actually use it to. No, I'm not going to say that because that would make me sound stupid. Actually, I might as well say it because I brought it up. Do they use it to help find the limits of some telescopes? No, that's not something I read. Let me take that back.
I don't think so, but it's also one of the objects that and Joe and Joe and I are remiss and that we should be taking images of it as soon as it's apparent, visible, about every week or so, because there are actual waves that ripple through the body of the nebula, and then there's the general expansion, and it's visible over the course of a year, so you can actually see
movement. You can see motion.
You can see motion. It's spectacular. So it's something we ought to do just routinely. It's I feel like I should be doing that. So I need a setup with a long focal length, and then as Joe will attest, you need very, very stable sky, so that you can resolve that fine scale information, and then you image it, then you come back a week later and do it again, and a week later and do it again, and so on, and then make that GIF you were talking about, or GIF or whatever you call it, and
right.
And then you can show a little video of it. I'd love to do that.
I don't know if it was of the crab. I know that there was a gentleman who had taken pictures like over 15 years of an object, and It was pretty impressive. I can't remember.
Is there any way for me to share the image I have with you?
Yes, if you go into the Skype chat now. What's going to happen in just a couple of minutes is we're going to bring the show to the end, but it doesn't mean our call has to be over. If you want to share a link, let's go into the chat area, and you can drop a link, and then I can go back to the radio station, and I can drop the link in there for the viewers to click on.
All right, I'll do that right now, and I'll just go to the Skype chat and go to the chat, and then post the image from there.
Yes.
And so it says type message, and then it gives options.
Yeah.
I guess that's add files. Is that the option?
Yeah.
Are you trying to drop an image or a link?
An image.
Image.
I don't know if I could share. Go ahead and share. Let's see if I can do it. I haven't tried.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to try. That's for sure. So yeah, share the file.
Okay, I'm right in the middle of doing it. And I should have said that. Well, we didn't talk about this until the end of the show, so
that's okay.
Yeah, where is it? Oh, it was looking for a file. So is there? I'm not sure in this chat thing.
There's add files. You see right there? There's a little happy face.
File, but isn't there a way to put a picture in there, Joe? Or should I just put a link? I'll put a link.
Okay,
maybe that's
a link would be. A link would work best.
Okay, so it's going to say copy image address, right? That would be it.
Okay.
Copy image address.
Okay, everyone, as we hear the music, we're going to be bringing this image to you. We thank you for listening tonight. We'll see you next week at the same time, 6 p.m. in New York City for another episode of Collision Course. We wish you a very, very happy Saturday evening, morning, afternoon. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, NiceGuysNumber.com. Thank you, Cosmic Obsession Kerrville. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Brennan. It's right there. Nebula.
Listen to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, and we'll be right back after this message. Thank you for listening to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. Any commercial advertising you may hear in this program is of the sole discretion and benefit of the host of whose program you are listening to. Revolution Radio does not endorse any commercial products, nor does it accept monetary compensation for on-air advertising of commercial products, nor will it ever. We are and shall remain 100% listener supported. Any product advertising on this program are considered used at buyer risk, and Revolution Radio shall not be held liable for any claims or damages received from any product advertised within this program. Revolution Radio, where information never sleeps.
Thanks for tuning in to